All right, we've made it. Our final keynote, and saving the best for last, we have the Deputy Director of NGA, Brett Markham. I was warned the bio can't be too long, so we're going to fly through this because he currently serves as the 10th Deputy Director of NGA. He's formerly the Chief of Staff of NGA and a wealth of service to both the nation and the military and government. So please help me welcome Mr. Brett Markham.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for the kind introduction, Jeff. Sincerely appreciate it. And it's great to be with everyone this afternoon. I'd like to begin my remarks by thanking USGIF for bringing the community together yet again to share ideas and facilitate collaboration across government, industry, our international partners, as well as our academic partners. This year's symposium, Building a Secure Tomorrow Together, seems quite appropriate given current world events. Since we last came together, so much has changed in our profession, in our discipline, in our country, and frankly, in the world. What has not changed is NGA's laser focus on mission, while at the same time taking care of our workforce. And before going any further, I'd like to publicly thank the women and men of NGA for their support not only to our agency, but to our nation. Without these elite professionals, we simply could not do what we do day in and day out, and we certainly could not accomplish our mission. Over the next few minutes or so, I'm going to touch on a few highlights of what's happened since last year's symposium, but more importantly, talk about a few things that are ahead of us. I'm going to kind of bend these things into three groups. Mission, that should be no surprise to anybody in this audience. A little bit on AI and integration and adoption at NGA. And finally, leveraging the commercial sector, which I'm sure you're all keenly interested in. Why did I pick those three things to talk about today? Frankly, I view these as very critical enablers to achieve NGA's desired end state, which is GEOINT supremacy, accelerated effects, and decision advantage. We adopted that end state about 3 years ago, and we've been driving towards it ever since. As a combat support agency and a member of the intelligence community, we continue to operate under Title 10 and Title 50 authorities. Nothing has changed in that regard. As such, we continue to provide support to a wide range of customers that will come as no surprise to this audience, including national policymakers, senior leaders across the federal government, warfighters at the strategic, operational, and tactical level, international partners, and certainly first responders who are charged with saving lives. NGA teammates are at the ready, on watch, and on duty 24/7, 365. Leveraging our National GEOINT Operations Center, or NGOC for short, we monitor, assess, and report on activity and events worldwide around the clock throughout the entire year. In doing so, NGA is uniquely postured to enable decision advantage from seabed to space with increasing speed and accuracy. Both of those are necessary to support our missions of warning, targeting, and safety of navigation. The demand for GEOINT at home and abroad continues to increase and is driven in part by evolving national and defense priorities, China's global activity, ongoing conflicts, think Russia, Ukraine, Israel, Gaza, activity throughout the Middle East, such as threats to international shipping and terrorist threats in that region, and increasing requirements from regional and functional combatant commands to include CCIRs and PIRs. And finally, support to domestic and international humanitarian assistance and disaster response, hurricanes, wildfires, flooding, etc. In every instance, NGA, along with our partners, has answered the call to meet today's requirements, while simultaneously preparing for the future. Bottom line, NGA is delivering GEOINT at the speed and scale required to enable decision advantage today. It is timely, it is accurate, and it is relevant, and it is saving lives. That said, we are as equally excited about what the future holds, specifically our people. It is absolutely critical that we continue to attract and retain skilled talent. That is the fundamental success, if you will, for our world-class workforce. We must expand the acquisition, the integration, and adoption of artificial intelligence across all of our mission areas. We must leverage existing and expanding commercial partnerships to be successful in the years and decades ahead. Strengthening our international partnerships is also core and critical to our success. And finally, opening our new campus right here in St. Louis in September of this year. This has been a multi-year effort that will culminate with a ribbon cutting on or about 26 September. We're extremely excited about this, and I'm happy to report that there was no significant damage to our facility or the surrounding area as a result of the storms this past Friday, and the tours that were previously scheduled are still a go for the next few days. So as you can see, there's a lot on our plate at NGA, but I'm confident that we and the broader GEOINT community will rise to meet the challenges ahead. Success, enabled and driven by our workforce, is the only option, as I view GEOINT's contribution to national security as a no-fail mission. All around the world, our people are pushing the boundaries of what is possible, and I have no doubt they will continue to do so in the coming years. Switching gears just a little bit to artificial intelligence. It's been an explosive year, and we're moving very quickly at NGA in this space. Our director, Vice Admiral Whitworth, announced in January of this year that 2025 will be the year of NGAI. We've embraced the whole-of-agency approach to AI transformation at NGA, and the early results have been extraordinary across multiple mission areas. This includes the deployment of enhanced computer vision, large multimodal models, and agentic AI, just to name a few of the exciting developments that have happened at NGA over the last 12 months. Why now? The proliferation of space-based sensors over the next decade and the resulting data deluge, my boss likes to refer to it as, compel us, frankly, to think and to operate differently to be successful in delivering GEOINT when and where needed. Our workforce, while outstanding, will need to increasingly leverage AI/ML moving forward in order to be responsive to the increasing GEOINT requirements that will no doubt be coming. As you know, NGA Maven, which is a JROC validated program of record, is the cornerstone of all of our AI efforts, particularly in the targeting arena. But it is also impacting how we will and are operating in our traditional analysis, indications, and warning mission set, as well as in our foundation mission as we pursue a digital twin of the Earth. For example, NGA Maven will enable us to, through analyst-defined AI agents, locate objects quicker, tipping analysts to abnormal or significant activity. It will enable us to scale to analyze more images and locate targets of interest quicker using multimodal models, departing from a CV-only approach. Enhanced model accuracy to meet or exceed human detection, classification, and tracking performance. And finally, NGA Maven will improve interoperability, particularly as it relates to sharing data, models, and detections more rapidly. Bottom line, NGA Maven and the associated Maven Smart System is a huge success by any measure at NGA. Computer vision detections are up, latency is down, and millions of data labels exist today that would not have otherwise been possible, and interoperability continues to expand. And importantly, it's deployed and fully operational in multiple theaters around the globe today. Moving forward, we'll continue to use modern software acquisition processes to deliver timely and relevant capabilities. While we've made some significant progress in the last 12+ months, there's more work to be done. A few areas or few thoughts for us to focus on moving forward. First, further expanding artificial intelligence integration into our analytic workflows and our mission support operations. That is both critically important and absolutely necessary for us to be successful moving into the future. Assimilating AI into our collection orchestration processes in order to keep up with the demand and to be able to efficiently and accurately task our systems, it is imperative that we adopt a more aggressive integration strategy relative to artificial intelligence. Implementing an enterprise AI infrastructure with an end state of providing labels, models, and detections as a service. And maturing and codifying AI certifications and accreditations to ensure repeatable standards and responsible AI usage and applications. So near term, I'd like to invite you to attend a panel tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon entitled Source and Analysis at the Speed of Mission. Our Director of Analysis, Shelby Pearson, will be there, along with our Deputy for Source, Tracy Maloney, at the Government Hub. In a few weeks' time, 9 June, NGA will be hosting an AI Industry Day at our campus in Springfield, Virginia, where attendees will receive an update on NGA's current AI development efforts, as well as its emerging gaps and challenges. It's a very unique opportunity to interact with industry on some of the challenges we're facing in our organization. Organizations can submit white papers in advance that address the emerging AI gaps and challenges, and we plan to select some organizations to present their solutions during NGA's AI Pitch Day. That date has not been set yet, but we'll certainly advertise that widely as soon as it does. And finally, later this year in November, right now around 2021, NGA is planning to host a GEOINT AI Summit at our NGA Washington campus. It's a 2-day event to explore and advance the future of GEOINT AI with industry and community partners, and you'll hear more about that in the coming weeks and months. Turning to commercial partnerships for just a minute, my third and kind of final topic. It should come as no surprise to anyone in this room that NGA is leveraging our commercial partners more and more in the GEOINT space. This includes not only the provision of commercial imagery, but also leveraging commercial data, analytics, and services in a new and exciting way. Our partnership with the commercial sector is a key element in satisfying emerging mission needs and being responsive, frankly, to both standing and ad hoc requirements. Simply put, it provides access to a broader range of geospatial data, geospatial services, analytic capabilities than a government-only solution. 3 areas that I believe require immediate attention and show promise and opportunity. First, expanding analytic services. That is core to our mission set at NGA. The second is tackling compute and storage problems. With the proliferation of sensors and the corresponding increase in data, both of those elements of what we do for a profession are critically important that we tackle those head on. And third and finally, modernizing our corporate applications. Think of the back end of the operation as well as the core mission of our organization. So switching gears just a little bit, since last year, we've made significant progress in leveraging our Luno contracts, and they're paying huge dividends. We announced the intent last year at the symposium and moved out smartly on both fronts. Both Luno A and B are part of our ongoing effort to execute an agile acquisition strategy that unlocks the capacity and innovation of the commercial geospatial industry, thus accelerating GEOINT modernization. Luno A is focused on facility monitoring, feature identification, infrastructure and high-cadence network monitoring, and general change detection. Luno B is focused on human domain monitoring and domain awareness and custody services. Both contract vehicles also provide the GEOINT community access to emerging products, data, and services. To date, NGA has awarded several delivery orders for Luno A, focused primarily on facility monitoring and feature ID. Moving forward, we plan to award additional delivery orders for Luno A in the next few weeks to months. The focus will be on petroleum, oil, liquefied natural gas storage and pipeline monitoring, broad area search, and additional facility monitoring. And we also plan to award additional contracts on Luno B in the next few months. The focus of those will be on human geography, maritime domain awareness, focused on a wide range of illicit activities, and damage assessment and change detection, particularly as it relates to disaster response. We have another commercial industry initiative called Project EDGAR. It's our commercial maritime domain awareness effort to produce rapid commercial analytics and unclassified intelligence products for a wide range of customers. Last year, as part of Project EDGAR, we announced our first commercial solutions opening, or CSO, to provide direct-to-warfighter commercial analytics for MDA. By leveraging the CSO, we were able to rapidly onboard a new MDA capability, test that capability through a pilot, and capture knowledge to inform future MDA-related acquisitions in record time. Also in 2024, in parallel with the CSO, we awarded a contract for automated analytics, maritime law enforcement, and security after a dedicated small business competition. This was used to satisfy an ongoing U.S. Coast Guard commercial GEOINT need in the MDA space. This contract uses AI technologies, including computer vision, to comb through imagery, detect vessels, then cross-reference those detections with other data to identify anomalies, including dark or unattributed ships, spoofing, and ship-to-ship or bunkering events. With our industry partners, we processed over 12 billion square kilometers of imagery, resulting in over 11 million detections, and we're growing this effort to support over 300 customers at this point from 16 government organizations. Because of the success demonstrated during our initial 6-month pilot, we extended the contract for another 6 months and are continuing to invest in delivery and enduring operational impacts. To let you know what else to expect from NGA when it comes to the commercial sector, I'd invite you to the 2 excellent events over the next few days at the Government Hub. The first will be a fireside chat with our Director of Commercial Operations, Devin Brand, where the subject is appropriately swimming in sensors, drowning in data. That's on Tuesday afternoon at 14:30. And the other will be a panel with our Associate Director for Capabilities, Trey Treadwell, on Wednesday afternoon at 13:15 in the Government Hub. The topic, and I'm a little biased here, the best agency to do business with. So that should come as no surprise to anybody either. So kind of in conclusion, let me finish with this. At NGA, we remain steadfast in our commitment to accomplishing our statutory mission, which, to remind everybody, simply is to task, collect, process, exploit, analyze, and disseminate timely, relevant, and accurate geospatial intelligence consisting of imagery intelligence, and geospatial information for use by the armed forces, departments, or agencies of the U.S. and foreign partners. As we look to the future, there is clearly a mission imperative to further strengthen our partnership between government, industry, international partners, and academia. In my humble opinion, GEOINT and the GEOINT community is uniquely postured to do simply just that. I look forward to continuing that journey with you, and I'll turn the mic back over to Jeff. I think we have time for a little bit of Q&A here. So thank you for your time and attention.
Thanks so much to you. So tell me a little bit about your history with St. Louis. Don't want to steal your thunder, even getting married in Busch Stadium here. What about St. Louis?
Just stole the thunder.
It was
What's going on here? St. Louis is certainly near and dear to my heart. I spent the better part of a decade in this footprint. And from about 2012 to 2022, was assigned in our footprint out here. So, as you point out, on the personal side, got engaged under the arch, married in the stadium, so there's a lot of connective tissue there. big Cards fan, big Blues fan, so that's kind of instilled in my psyche. On the professional side, though, what I would tell you is NGA is a great organization, and the missions and functions that NGA performs in support of our policymakers, our warfighters, and others is absolutely critical to the success of what this agency and what this organization is all about. We have a very talented, skilled workforce that operates in the St. Louis footprint. About 25% of our workforce is out here, and it's laser focused on mission. Everything they do out here, from geomatics to safety of navigation to foundation, even the team that is responsible for paying us every 2 weeks sits down in Arnold, Missouri.
A very important task,
so,
yes.
We make sure we take care of that crew day in and day out. But it's part of a broader enterprise approach to execution. It's good for continuity of operations, and we certainly have been highly successful in advocating for the retention of this particular element and this particular footprint, as evidenced by now the delivery of our N2W facility in a few short months' time.
I know that's been the catalyst for a lot of the major growth here within the geospatial realm. I appreciate the slide up on the screen now. Please do submit questions ahead of time. We got a couple more minutes, and I want to make sure to get as many of these questions here. But I know that NGA is going to have a strong presence this week. I know that you mentioned several of the tasks. Any sneak peek for Thursday for the classified session? Can you identify anything to this audience of what maybe they can expect?
Sure. On Thursday, a very unique opportunity to showcase at the classified setting some of the work that's been going on in NGA. Certainly in the last year or so, but more recently in the last 4 to 5 months. We will have our traditional Ops Intel update, which occurs every day, Monday through Friday at 8:45, where we kind of take stock of where we are relative to current intelligence issues, but also how our constellation's doing, how our people doing, how our IT system's doing, those kinds of things. And then our director, Admiral Whitworth, will present a presentation on current world events and the threat that is currently being posed, and how GEOINT is responding to and servicing those requirements and trying to stay ahead of the threat. So for those that are afforded that opportunity, I would certainly encourage you to take advantage of it because it frankly only comes around about once or twice a year.
Very, very good, and it was an excellent tee up to this question from the audience. You mentioned staying ahead of its adversaries, but how does NGA plan to stay ahead of its adversaries? We heard earlier about quantum computing. There has been no shortage of AI, ML. How do you stay above the enemies out there?
Yeah, I think that there are two aspects of what we do as an agency and what we do as a community that give us a very competitive advantage. One is our workforce. We have the most skilled and talented workforce in the world, bar none, and they demonstrate that day in and day out. It is also true that we have the best set of partners on a global scale in the GEOINT community, bar none. So I think if you look at the people and the partnerships piece of it and the natural pairing that occurs with nations and countries that have similarly aligned interests, it gives us a very competitive edge when it comes to execution. And we've been doing it for a while. As I mentioned in my remarks, we must evolve in that space to continue to maintain that competitive edge. But our adversaries don't have the partnerships, and they don't have currently the skill sets to be successful. So while they have some capability, if you will, pulling that thread and pulling it all together and delivering content and context, I think we are still at top of the rung.
Well, I think you're doing an excellent job of teeing up the next question here from the audience. So speaking about international partners, how does NGA still promote greater data sharing, interoperability, specifically with NATO partners or other partners around the world? So NGA has had for decades, and its predecessor organizations, relationships with the international community. And some of those are in the unclassified space, some of those are in the classified space. And as I said, the partnerships that we have evolved over time are one of the key components that make us as strong as we are as a community and as a discipline.
We continue to seek out to enhance those partnerships and frankly look for other opportunities to expand or create new partnerships moving forward. And I think we have a tremendous team that is laser focused on that mission set in our international operations and partnerships arena, and they have delivered outstanding results consistently year over year over year. So very excited about what the future portends in that space.
We've got our first controversial question here. It's going to put you on the hot seat.
Yeah, controversial to you.
Blues or caps?
Blues. Sorry.
All right. Well,
sorry for my East-based teammates.
we got the controversial question out of the way. Okay, and
I was here. I was here when they won the cup. Just can't waver on that one. Sorry.
All right. I still remember the workforce coming on their Blues jersey and seeing the video streamed right in from St. Louis with no shortage of jerseys in the audience there. Yeah. All right. A couple of crystal ball questions here. If you're looking to a crystal ball, how do you see GEOINT after the AI revolution?
Very interesting question. I am laser focused on trying to get in and through the AI revolution. So if I had a magic 8-ball or something that said what's next after that, what I am concerned about is how quickly technology will maintain the pace that is necessary to continue to give us a competitive edge. There is certainly a lot to be said for the advances we've made in computer vision and other tools in the toolkit thus far. I don't think we fully tapped into the capability that is needed to be able to, I'll say, interrogate, manage, and manipulate the data that we have before us now. So I don't really have a great answer on what's after AI. I think we're on the early stages of how AI integration and adoption is going to impact this profession. And I'm quite excited about what we have seen thus far. But I'll leave it to my research scientists to figure out kind of what's next.
Well, that's along the same threads there. We've heard a lot about space technology today. Mm-hmm. A couple of outstanding space jokes earlier I can share with you off stage here. Would you say that NGA is more focused on space situational awareness, terrestrial, GEOINT? Is it all important? What are you got seabed and space in the motto. Is there one that's a heavier preference than another?
So no, it's all important.
Yep.
So the reason we modified our motto from what it used to be to know the world, show the way, from seabed to space, is to reflect the totality of what we need to do as an organization to maintain a competitive advantage against our adversaries. For example, we must maintain WGS 84. That is the core foundational relational activity that allows us to precisely look at the globe and activity with a XYZ kind of approach to where it's happening on the Earth in all domains. So we have a wide range of customers, as I suggested earlier. That includes space, it includes foundational related work, it includes collection related work. So we do it all, and it all is necessary for it to come together to tell the tale, so to speak.
All right, it's going to be the last question here. All right, it's a two-parter here. Over the last 10 years, what has been NGA's greatest accomplishment, and what's the hardest goal for the next decade?
I think our greatest accomplishment has been maintaining a laser focus on mission and mission outcome while taking care of our team. Our team is the secret sauce, if you will, that enables us as an organization to be successful and execute our mission day in and day out. I think NGA has been repeatedly recognized as a preferred employer, if you will, in the federal government space. And it's a testament to the leadership teams that have led this organization over the last decade. The one thing that continues, regardless of leadership team, is the mission and the laser focus on it by our team. And kind of what's ahead in the next decade or so, I think the if you will, pivot to a more strategic reliance on artificial intelligence across the totality of all of our missions. And when I say missions, I'm not talking about traditional analysis or source-related activities. It includes our human capital, our resource management. Every element of what we do as an organization is going to have to embrace, integrate, and adopt a new way of doing business if we're going to maintain the pace that we're at right now with the resources that we have available.
And I think a good part of that is, as well, is making sure that those partnerships are there, commercial,
Absolutely.
academia, internationally as well, and you have always led from the forefront of always being available to those groups, being here, having the team here, having St. Louis DCC without. So I'm getting the boot here. I think the hot seat is now over, but everyone please join me in thanking NGA's Deputy Director, Brett Markham, for being here.
Thanks much, appreciate it. Thanks, Mike.